So you're in a fender bender and it looks like you just need a little paint. Actually, there's a lot more wrong with it than you think. So you don't want your car falling apart like that. There could be issues with the headlights, fog lights, the grills, the brackets, even the AC condenser, all of which you can get those parts at 1aauto.com. So let's do it right. We'll tear into this and see what we need. Looking at the plate bracket real quickly, it doesn't look like anything's wrong, but if you take a better look at it, you can see that it's actually folded right here, and that's not the way it's supposed to be. And the grill has been affected behind it as well. This is all raised up right here. This should be flat all the way across. So to take the old plate bracket off, you're gonna need a Phillips head screwdriver and take the plate screws off. This screw is messed up, so I am gonna have to cut it off. But normally you just pull those screws out and this bracket will come right off. And then you just pull that out and it slides right off. There's a couple clips on the bottom, so you wanna pull those out. Now we're gonna remove the grill. Start by taking this 10mm bolt out. Take these push pins out. And from the back side, there is some clips holding this in. Just pry up so that you can unclip those. If there are any tabs that are broken on the grill, when you go to put it back on, it's not gonna be secured properly and it could potentially fall off. You can see the push pins need to be in position. Now where this bracket is right here, this doesn't even line up anymore. So you could have a problem with the bracket or the bumper itself is messed up and that's not lining up. Probably gonna need new push pins as well. Now there's 3 pins right here. You wanna take those out. Just use a trim tool or a push pin tool. Take those out. Underneath, you can't see this shield from above, so this could be cracked or even warped, and it's gonna cause some issues with fitting the new bumper skin on the front. It's not gonna line up properly and maybe even cause the bumper to warp, and it's not gonna look good. And it slides down and just slide it out. Take this screw out right here, use a 10mm socket, and the same on the other side. And if your vehicle has fog lights, you wanna disconnect those. Just pop those out. Checking out your fog lights, you want to look and see if there's any cracks in the glass or anything like that. See if anything is loose. Just because an accident happened and most of the impact was on one side, it could affect the other side as well. And if that's loose, that's going to fall out sometime. You got to fix that. There's a plastic push pin right here. I'm just going to use a trim tool. Just going to pull this out. Make sure that's separated from the inner fender well. Slide that off. Pop out the rivet. That's separated right there. You want to grab the bumper and just pull like that. You want to grab it firmly. It may be a little bit trickier than this one. And then you're going to do the same on the other side. And just grab the front of the bumper and it slides right off. Now that we have the bumper off, you can see the areas where the bumper wasn't clipped in properly because the pieces are worn down or broken. This should clip into the vehicle like this, and that's just loose right there, and same with right there. You only really have one piece in the middle there clipping in. So that pops out very easily. On the back side of the bumper, we're going to take the grill out, and it slides right out. You can see that the grill has been crushed right here. We're not going to be able to bring that back to life. And the tabs have been broken off and they're not going to stay secure. This is just going to fall off down the road. So this is going to need to be replaced. Behind the bumper is where the AC condenser sits, and it doesn't take much to damage this. Whether it gets punctured or it gets bent into the radiator, then you're going to damage the radiator and the condenser at the same time. Before you start this job, make sure you bring the vehicle to a local shop to have the refrigerant extracted. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to take components apart. There's going to be refrigerant that's pressurized in there, so you want to get that removed. And then you have to disconnect the 2 lines going into the condenser. We'll grab the condenser, and it slides out. These brackets on the side here, if the clips are not working right or they're cracked, the bumper's not going to sit on here right, and it's going to look funny, and it's not going to be safe. You can see this bracket is secured to the car, and this has 2 broken pieces right here. And those are supposed to clip into the bumper in those locations. So if this bracket is like this, it's only going to be secured right there, and this can pop off pretty easily, which isn't good. To replace the side brackets for the bumper, you're going to need to remove 2 bolts, and then you can just pry it out. The headlights can be affected. The brackets are made of plastic and they easily break. So if you don't repair these when you're fixing the car, you're going to go down the road and everything's going to be jumping all around. To remove the headlights, you're going to need to remove the bolts or nuts holding it in and then disconnect the connectors. There we go. It's all fixed up. We replaced all those damaged components, and you can too, and get those at 1aauto.com. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you subscribe to our channel, ring the bell, turn on all notifications so you don't miss any of our videos. Why won't it come out? It seems like it's just on there by a thread.